So this was a bloody summer for America. All right, we had the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. We had the effects of C-19. How did the events of 2020 lead up into the work that we see today?
Well, I think that it helped to be very specific, because I think when you on the microstructure, if you zoom into a very specificity, it's easier to go to the universal after that. And I also felt like the work was very timely, because there's a point where when things aren't in the news cycle, they tend to disappear from people's memory. So this wasn't just work that looked back towards 5 years ago or 6 years ago. This is work that is very relevant to the times that we're in. And I just hope that it can reach as many people as possible.
So you mentioned traveling. You traveled to Benin some time ago, and that trip was very important to you.
Yeah.
Tell us about the trip, and what do we see from that trip that is now in the work that we're looking at?
Well, I went to Cotonou, I went to Benin in early 2018, and I was able to study and look at the Boccio sculptures that I'd been studying in books and through a kind of Western art history lens. And seeing it in person, I realized that when we go to a museum and see African sculptures, it's cut in maybe 20% of its intentional value, because it's only one out of the 5 senses, right? So seeing all these rituals and seeing the works in the context that they were meant to be during the Vodun festival, it really gave me a better outlook. And I also realized that there are various cities and various places in the diaspora where the spiritual systems survived in their entirety. You can see the same exact things in Havana, in Miami, in New Orleans, in Ouida, you know. So it made me realize that the myth of Black people being like a empty slate and that our history was completely wiped out, that's BS. You know, and I think we need to link to a larger Pan-African sensibility, because I might call my Africa Overtown or Carol City. You may call your Africa Trinidad, but we're still African people throughout the diaspora. So I really, appreciated seeing that. And I also traveled to Havana prior to that trip a couple of years earlier.